Honestly, I hate to be the one to break this to you, but your coffee,
it's costing you too damn much.
that's right, I'm SpadeKeller Williams Realty. The 5 budgeting tips that you can make to help save for a house in 2021. Stay with us. What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. I'm SpadeKeller Williams Realty, where I make these videos to help you make sense of the real estate market and to help you make better financial decisions, so that way you can build your wealth. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 things you can do to save for a house, and let me tell you, you're going to have to get real with yourself if you're really going to want to do this. Now, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, click that little bell so you can be notified every time we drop fresh new content. And if you would, please give me a thumbs up on this video so that way I know that you actually really do love me. Well, if you've ever read The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, one of the things that he talks about in the book is getting honest with yourself. Now, the only way that you're going to be able to buy a house, and especially if you think you can't, is to get honest with your finances. Get real, get right, as one of my mentors calls it. So, what can you do to get right with your finances?
What is tip number 1?
The first thing you want to do is know exactly where every dollar is going in your day-to-day life. Now, one of the best things you can do is get one of those online apps like Mint, for example. That way, it's going to help you budget your money, and you're going to know exactly where it's going. You'll be notified every single time you go over budget. So, for example, I use Mint all the time, and my electric bill is around $60 a month. Last month, it was $73, so Mint notified me that I was over budget on my electricity bill. This is going to help you know exactly where your cash is going and how you can cut your spending. Now, if you don't want to use any one of those online tools, well, you can do it the old school way and put it on a Google spreadsheet. That's just fine too. But what you need to do is know exactly where the cash is going. Now, the best way to do this is go 6 months back.
What?
I know what you're saying. You're looking at me going, 6 months back, Chris? That's a long time to go back. Yes, but that will give you a really good financial picture, especially in the time during the pandemic. 6 months back is going to give you a broad scope of the things that you've been spending your money on. Now, if you're like most people, we haven't been able to do much over the last 6 months, especially here in San Diego, so you should have socked away a lot of cash. A lot of people are sitting on $1.3 billion in money in their savings account. That is according to the Fed. So there's a lot of money that needs to be spent in the economy, which means you are going to be able to find out where all this is going. Now, what I want you to do is print out the last 6 months of your bank statements. Take a look at each one of those and write down everything and put it in the spreadsheet or put it in some sort of online app and figure out where all your money is going. Now, your housing expense, that's likely going to stay the same. But your food, your electric bill, those things that you're spending money on, those are going to fluctuate. The next thing I want you to do is check your credit card statements. Look at where all your money is going.
Here's a pro tip. Get rid of your credit cards if you can.
Only spend what you can pay off in 1 month on your credit cards. That's a no-brainer, right? But it's very important because if you don't, then you are going to shoot yourself in the foot. Once you go through your credit card statement, figure out where all the money is going. And if you have excess money to pay down your credit card, do that. But if you can, pay off your credit card bill every single month. You do not want to carry revolving debt. This proves to mortgage lenders that you are a good credit risk. Now, I also want you to take a look at all the extra little money that you might be spending on a dog walker or a babysitter and paying them out in cash. You want to know where every single dollar is going, because in tip number 5, which is coming up, we're going to show you what you're going to do with that cash.
Let's talk about tip number 2.
Have you ever heard of the game red light, green light? Well, you're about to play it with your money. What do I mean by red light, green light? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to go through all your budget in step 1. Then you're going to start eliminating everything you can get rid of. So, for example, if you have cable, Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, do you need all those? I can tell you right now, the answer is absolutely not. Get out and enjoy some fresh air. Cut the ones that you want to live without. I don't care if it's an $8 expense. That $8 expense over 12 months, it adds up. Do you pay for meal prep kits like HelloFresh or I don't know, Freshly or whatever they're called? Cut those out. Go to the grocery store, plan your meal prepping, and do your meals on a budget. You do not need to be spending money on those things. Also, are you paying for Pandora and Spotify when the free version is just as good? These are the things that you can cut out because remember, we're going to take those into tip 5. Also, what I mentioned at the top of this,
Your coffee costing you too damn much?
well, that is because if you're like me, and I had to cut this out myself, so I am not judging you, but it is way too easy to reload your Starbucks app right from your phone, especially if you have your credit card attached to it. So cut out the Starbucks. Make your coffee at home, take it with you to work, and quit going. Also, what I want you to do is research some of the bills that you're paying on a regular basis, like your car insurance, renter's insurance, whatever it is. Health insurance season is right now. You only have a few more weeks to take care of that. But what you want to do is see if you can find discounts anywhere else that's going to lower your bills. I did this recently and I found out the car insurance / home insurance I was paying for was too much. I was able to shift everything, get more insurance, and pay less money with a different, bigger carrier. So it is possible that you can do this. Same thing with health insurance. If you can jimmy your health insurance, do that.
Let's move on to tip number 3.
When you were a kid, did you ever play house? That is exactly what I want you to do as an adult, only a little bit different. What I want you to do is start playing with an estimated online mortgage payment. So there are plenty of mortgage calculators out there. One of the good ones is with Movement Mortgage. You can go download their app here. One of the things that I want you to do is download a mortgage calculator. Movement Mortgage has a very good mortgage app, and I will post that link down in the comment section below. What I want you to do is download that app and start playing with the mortgage calculator. Now, it's got several different loan programs. It's got it for conventional, VA, FHA programs, or a refinance, but since you don't own a house right now, chances are you're not going to hit that refinance button. A conventional loan means that you're going to be putting down anywhere from 5, 10, 15, or 20%. Keep in mind, if you're putting anything less than 20% down, you will pay private mortgage insurance, which is commonly known as PMI. So if you do put that in and you see that you're only putting a 10% payment down, you are going to see that PMI line on the mortgage calculator payment. But if you put 20% down, then you're not going to have any of that private mortgage insurance. If you do an FHA loan, same thing, it's 3.5% down, so you're getting a loan for 17.5%. You're still going to be paying that mortgage insurance. Downside of an FHA loan is this, that you have to refinance out of it in order to get rid of that private mortgage insurance. Usually it just fell off in the old days, but that doesn't happen anymore. If you are a veteran or a current active duty service member, you can use a VA loan, and that means you're not going to be paying any mortgage insurance. That is the benefit, and you'll put 0 down. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have any skin in the game. You're still going to have to budget, and you're still going to have your earnest money deposit and closing costs, but you're still going to come out better because you're not going to really have to put a ton of money down to buy the house. So back to my original point, I want you to play house with a budget. I want you to figure out what you think you can afford in terms of a mortgage payment and then kind of play around with that, because that moves us into
Tip number 4, you might find a little difficult.
Now, what I want you to do in tip number 4 is set up an automatic savings account. What I don't want you to do is lie to yourself about this. Here's the deal. If you're like me and you have a hard time saving money, and who doesn't, because everybody likes to spend things on nice things that they truly want. I'm the exact same way. I'm no exception to the rule. But in order for me to do the things that I am telling you to do, I had to set up a separate account in a separate bank that took a lot more time to get out and move the money, so it wasn't easily accessible. So my recommendation here is set up an online account at a bank that isn't easy to move, or you can set it up at a community bank that doesn't have a lot of branches in San Diego. A couple of banks like that are Banner Bank or Opus Bank. One of the things you don't want to do, get a credit or debit card from these financial institutions. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because you don't want to put yourself more in the hole, and you don't want to have the money easily accessible so that way it can be spent. You want to take it so that way you actually have to think about transferring it into your account. Now, remember all that money I told you to cut out in step number 2? This is where I want you to put it. All those little savings, they're going to add up, and you're going to see how quickly they add up. And then you're going to be able to put that in this account, and this is going to be your homeownership savings account. Whatever you do, this is money you don't touch. This money is going to be dumped into this account so that way you can buy your home. This isn't extra money that you can go spend on. Another helpful tip, get an app like Acorn where they round up your money and deposit it into this account anyway. So for example, if you go and buy something for $3.75, that extra 25 cents goes into your Acorn account, it gets bussed over into this account, and then it starts adding up quickly. Before you know it, you're going to have an extra $1,200 that you didn't even know that you were spending, and trust me, you're not going to miss a thing.
And tip number 5.
This rounds out everything we've been talking about over in the first several tips, and that is you want to make sure your credit is in tip-top shape. This is why you want to go through your bank statements and your credit cards, because you want to see where you're spending the money and where all your cash is going. You want to make sure your credit is in tip-top shape because the higher your credit score, the lower your interest rate is going to be, and the probability of you securing a mortgage goes up. If you have any questions about how to get your credit in tip-top shape in order to buy a house in 2021, feel free to reach out to me at 619-818-2992. Thanks so much for watching. Make it a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.